Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is October the 19th. All right, 2020. Strong hand, long-term thinking, defiance over compliance. This is where the big boys play. Yeah, at this very channel. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin in motion. 5-digit realm. Apex predator. We're one day closer to an all-time high. I'm offended by selling. It's unconfiscatable. Remember that. Hello, my elite friends. How you doing? If you have questions, I have answers. Type them in. That's with the super chat to get my attention, or you can just type in BitcoinMeister if you don't want to. If you wanted to do it for free and ask some good questions. I want to say, check out disruptmeister.com. You can watch all my old shows, including Fridays This Week at Bitcoin was really great. Alessandro was talking about Venezuela, and Brian Jacoto was talking about lawyerly, legal, scholarly issues, First Amendment type of stuff. It's unique beast type of information. You're not going to get that kind of stuff anywhere else on this crazy World Wide Web of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. And I also want to say yesterday's Beyond Bitcoin show. Oh, I get into the current events and I give you a new photo for all a new photo. Not some people might have thought I said nude. Anyway, for all you simps out there that value your wealth in something other than Bitcoin, you'll like yesterday's photo. But it's a good show. Check out Beyond Bitcoin yesterday's. That is Sunday's show. So I tell people, don't scam yourself. Don't fall for the altcoin flavors of the month. No complexity worship. We're going to talk about that in some subjects today, okay? Don't put people on pedestals. Don't put the IMF on a freaking pedestal. So let's start off with this Filecoin, blind complexity worship that's going on there. Okay, so yeah, it's the flavor of the month. It's really complicated, apparently. Nick Carter tweets out, my only comment is this. Bitcoin is dead simple. It minimizes the number of dynamic variables. New complex systems are incredibly hard to design from scratch. And that's Gall's law, apparently. Dude, Nick, you're a real smart dude. I never heard of Gall's law before, but I get your point, okay, dude? And everyone should get the simple point that, yeah, you can make something super duper complicated. Does it make it better than Bitcoin? No. Are a bunch of people going to adopt it because of complexity worship? No. Bitcoin's unconfiscatable aspect, okay? It's simple. It might be boring to you, okay? But it is what it is. And it's not changing. 21 million. That, to me, that is much more valuable and important than all the bells and whistles they can throw on the latest flavor of the month. But apparently, Filecoin has transitioned from calibration net to mainnet at block 148,888 after $200 million ICO and 3 years of development. Within 24 hours of launch, a majority of miners are already on strike. And talk about a failed wedding and forks. Okay, and there is talk about failed. Okay, whatever. Filecoin is very complex and it requires high-end hardware, including a minimum 128 gigabyte memory. Complexity worship, but people were hyping it up because of all those things. They thought those were positives. It's falling apart. And it just goes down in the annals of history of the flavor of the month for October of 2020. You'll forget it just like you forgot all the flavor of the month for May of 2018 or July of 2019. Who knows? We don't remember them. Now, retweet this. Follow me on TechBot. I'm putting this TECHBALT. I just put it in the chat for all you dudes watching live out there. And someone asked me, what do I think about what do I think about Jay Powell's comment today on central bank digital currencies? And he said it was more important for the U.S. to get digital currency right than to be first. This is my take on it. We're not going to. The United States isn't going to be first. What does he mean by get right for the United States? Let me tell you, from the perspective of the politicians, yeah, they should be patient and figure out the best way to suck as much wealth out of the 80%ers as possible. So if they want and how to properly implement negative interest rates, how to implement tax collection properly for all the 80%ers who will fall in line. So he's absolutely right. Why rush it? Why rush it? Why not learn how to be the maximum dominating, centralized force to take advantage of the people? It's sickening. It's disgusting. But the other thing I'm going to point out is, and I pointed this out on many, many shows, we're going to get Fedcoin, okay? And it's not that much of a revelation anymore when the IMF hints at a Fedcoin, or when any country uses, when Jay Powell talks about it. It's not that big of a deal. We're going to get it, and the 80%ers will accept it. Look what they're accepting right now. Be locked down in their houses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it'll be very convenient. So Jay Powell's correct. He should take his time with Fedcoin to make it as, quote unquote, convenient for all the 80%ers as possible. So he'll be able to maximally take advantage of them as much as possible. So I mean, it's disgusting, it's sickening, and that's the way governments work. And Jim asked me, CBDC, central bank digital currency, will not be useful to transfer value over time. Well, probably not. But 80%, it'll be very convenient. Okay, so they will make it very convenient, very easy. Oh, look, you have direct access to the Federal Reserve now. You don't even need a private bank account. Look, you should just have a bank account with the United States of America. And depending who's the leaders of our country, we might be very socialistic by then. It'll be a big thing in socialism. They'll rave about the Fedcoin. The thing also to remember, people, and we're going to talk about this in the IMF story, which I'm talking about like in a second, but this pertained to it. If you're watching this right now, I assume you have Bitcoin, okay, or you have some interest in Bitcoin. You don't have to participate in any Fedcoin situation that comes about in whatever country you're in, be it Canada, the United States. I don't care where. You don't have to do it. You don't have to use what there's, and you can be very frustrated that you don't have cash anymore. Okay, that they've created a system that keeps perfect track of you if you use it. You have Bitcoin, so you're the Bitcoin overlay. So for me, I mean, people get scared when they hear about Fedcoin and that it's gonna be able to keep track of everything. Okay, you could be scared, but there's Bitcoin, so you don't have to play in that world. But that's why I'm talking about the convenience. They will make it very convenient, so everyone will give up their privacy. Not everyone, but 80% of the people. It'll be very useful to them, quote unquote useful to them. Okay, now Roman Q said the IMF lady looked like she was a Chinese Communist Party prisoner reading a pre-written admission of guilt. So glad I'm in the Bitcoin overlay. Well, I'm so glad I actually didn't watch it. I read the transcript, and it was boring. For me, it was boring. It was filled with SJW, gobbledygook, climate change, buzzword, feel good, no specifics at all. No specifics. And Jim also asked a good question. We're gonna get to IMF in a second, but it's a good question. Do you think central bank digital currencies would eliminate tax filing requirements? It depends on what. Some country might be able to figure out a way where it will. I'm not going to say it's going to work that way for everyone, but it might eliminate it in some countries if you did it right and you set up your whole tax system right. You could set up a tax system. They would have to modify the current United States tax system, but you could set it up in a way that, yeah, it would eliminate the tax filing requirement. I don't know if they want that, though. The accounting industry might be so powerful they might not. They might never. They might want to like keep the accountants happy or something. Keep those donations flowing from that corner of the world. Hey, BitcoinMeister. Hi, is your Monero address up to date? in your YouTube profile information to send you a donation. Thanks. Yeah, the one, yes, it is up to date. It is the one that's yes, it's up to date. All right, so let's go to, and I accept any, if anybody wants to give me altcoins, you can give me altcoins too, whatever. It's I quote unquote respect the money. It is money. It's not as good as Bitcoin, all the altcoins out there. But if you're going to give me free money, I appreciate it a lot. Thank you for, if you're going to send Monero, whatever it may be. Okay, now we're going back to the topic at hand, which is the IMF gobbledygook that so many people out there have, well, quite a few people have asked me about it. I see quite a few people tweeting about it. All these people, they put it on a pedestal. It's a woman for this big bureaucratic international organization that loans out money to third world countries, saying gobbledygook. Okay, so but there's all these people from the gold the gold bug past, that is so scared of these international organizations and have just been waiting for them to establish a new world order, and thus gold will be supreme again. Just these weird fantasies, these doomed fantasies. So IMF and Bretton Woods, it's all tied into these strange doomed fantasies that some people have never been able to let go of, despite the fact that they're in Bitcoin, despite the fact that you don't have to worry about your old doomed fantasies anymore. This is Bitcoin is the answer to the international monetary policy, all the governments colluding to do something horrible to the people through digital currencies, all these theories going around because this woman has some simple press release announcement that's filled with gobbledygook. Literally, I mean, we people need freedom. We've just had a bad virus, climate change. Oh my! And if there's no specifics, they're still going to loan out money to third world dictators that are supposed to help their people, and they won't help their people. That's the IMF. Now, Andy Hoffman had the best take on this, and it was just like he was laughing at the whole thing, and I'm laughing at the whole thing too. But I just my point in really talking about this today, because it's noise, it's a distraction. Why should you care? Why should anyone? If you are a true Bitcoin holder, why should you care? Really? Why? We have lived through. I mean, let's give her credit, or the person who wrote the headline, a new Bretton Woods moment. Okay, that's good marketing to get the doomers' attention. I mean, Bretton Woods was a big thing. They changed the whole monetary system. But dudes, we've lived through major monetary system reconfigurations since then. I mean, off the gold standard that basically got rid of Bretton Woods in 1971. Okay. And within the United States, we've had the continual money printing, QE, quantitative easing. There was never any, and we've gotten along. People have lived. The world hasn't dropped. The world hasn't ended. Nothing bad is that. And some of these things are gradual. So sure, I'm sure all these technocrats in Europe would love to alter the monetary system and do it overnight and give themselves more say in in climate change and all this nonsense. And there's some things they could do that would be quite drastic. There's some things that will happen over time. But the man on the street doesn't even notice, first of all. If you know about all this stuff, if you know about all this monetary history, okay, and that things are going to keep on getting inflated away, then what? Do you have Bitcoin? And if the answer is yes, then you don't need to worry about this, okay? You really do not. There's no conspiracy. It's a press release out there. There's no secret evil things. Digital and what I said beforehand, she doesn't even, I don't think she says digital currencies. There might be slight allusions to things like that. They're coming. Central bank digital currencies. They are coming. They are coming. You don't have to participate in them, okay? You don't have to have all your wealth in them, at least, all right? Yeah, I just want to if I missed anything here, we've had quantitative easing. It's nebulous. And then what happens is, because it's the IMF, and through the years, all these people have put it on a pedestal. They're behind the scenes, in charge of everything. The central bank of central banks, this, that, and the other. So people use it as clickbait. Okay, they make scary headlines about it, and make scary videos, scary tweets, scary articles, just propping up like a very simple press release that really was filled with nonsense. I mean, word salad. It was a bunch of word salad from some lady in Europe, or she's based in Washington. I don't know where she's based. Okay. So it gets a life of its own. It gets a life of its own through all the people who want to live in a panic prison, and who want drama, and who want conspiracies. Dudes, if you have Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. It really does not matter. All right. Now, if you're valuing your wealth in South African rand, and all of a sudden there's they could, your country takes on even more loans, your corrupt leaders even take on more loans through some new IMF gimmick, and your leader says we're doing all this for climate change, and you only have rand, yeah, you're in bad shape at that point. But I don't even see, if you watch the show, how you can even get to that point. So a lot of this is it's worse. You put these organizations on pedestals that you supposedly, it's bureaucratic nonsense. You're interested in Bitcoin. You're interested in a currency that has nothing to do with nation states, but you keep on defaulting back to these worries that involve nation states and nation state collaboration. I mean, are you worried about it? Are you still stuck in the dollar realm, valuing your wealth in dollar, valuing your wealth in various fiats? Or are you truly in the Bitcoin overlay mentally? And I think this is a psychological thing that's going on. There's a lot of people who love Bitcoin, but psychologically they cannot get over the fact that they love conspiracies, and they love to blame people, and they love scapegoating. And so I say, IMF, do whatever you want to do. I'm not blaming you for any of my troubles. But they're just people that think they're going to have troubles, so they take proactive steps to blame the IMF and make up stories about them. That, ooh, are you worried that they might have a central bank digital currency? No, I'm not worried at all. I don't care about them at all. What is this? Central bank digital currencies are real. This is not a new revelation. You don't have to use them with okay. So don't be a CBDC CUCK. That's what I wanted to conclude with there. All right. Now, another person that people like to put on a pedestal and like to vilify. And yeah, going back, before I get to Peter Schiff, I have to say pound that like button. But when we get press releases that involve, references back to Bretton Woods, and it's from an international organization like an IMF thing, it is a psychological test of how crazy people are. And maybe it's a 20%er IQ test also, okay? That you really don't have the 20%er knowledge to let stuff like that slide. But Peter Schiff, okay. So he agreed to an interview with 60 Minutes out of Australia, which is apparently a pretty biased organization. No shock there. And the United States government, and perhaps some other governments, are targeting his bank in Puerto Rico for helping people, quote unquote, tax evade. And he walked out on the Australian interview. It's linked to below. Why he agreed to it, I'm not exactly sure. He loves marketing so much. It has nothing to do with Bitcoin. The situation that Peter Schiff finds himself in right now, that is being investigated, tax evasion, whatever it may be, has nothing to do with Bitcoin. But we have people in Bitcoin celebrating it. That, and to me, it's hilarious. Like, you're cheering on the state or a bunch of governments to attack an individual because you didn't like what he said about Bitcoin. I mean, what are your principles here? Do you like when the state uses its weapons of destruction against individuals to crush them, to crush financial entrepreneurs? I mean, do you believe, what the state defines as evasion and as laundering? Do you worship that? I mean, is that the law? Is that what you listen to? Now, you could be careful about those things, but when it happens to someone else, do you say, oh, that's great, the state got their revenge on that criminal? I mean, no, at least I don't. So to celebrate this with Peter Schiff, I strongly disagree with. I don't know what the whole story is, and it has nothing to do with Bitcoin right now. I mean, you can boil down, you can connect a lot of things to Bitcoin. Let me say what would have solved Peter Schiff's problem. If he would have never opened a bank in Puerto Rico and just bought Bitcoin, he wouldn't have this problem. But that's a lot of what ifs. We don't on this show, I say no regrets. We can't change the past here. So I hope Peter Schiff gets out of the situation. I really do. Because his father also suffered mightily from a situation where the government attacked him because of tax issues, okay? And some people cheer that on. Oh, he was a tax criminal. He should be funded. Peter Schiff should be, every penny that Peter Schiff makes should be going to all of AOC's and the IMF's climate change fantasies. Should be funding all of that, right? Right, guys? Okay. Now, yeah, and Jim has a question. Cool door frame, is that a painting of the Virgin Mary? I don't know. The artist who owns this place, he put some of his art up here, and it looks like you're not getting a very clear thing of it. It looks more like Jesus. I think it's just supposed to be a random prophet or a prophet-looking type of person. It's not a woman, is what I'm saying. There, it's interesting, interesting art here. The guy. What else do we have? Okay, I'm just seeing if there are any other questions. Yeah, the Schiff story is a waste of time. I agree. I don't know why Bitcoiners are. The only thing you can learn from it that makes it not a waste of time is that the government it keeps its eyes on those who want to mess around in the banking realm. If you get into their realm where they have all sorts of licenses and you're centralized, you're a target. And he definitely he's had a target on his back for a while. For many, partially because he's related to. I mean, he's the son of Irvin Schiff or Irv Schiff, whatever his name was. Rest in peace, dude. And I hope his father's buried in a Jewish cemetery. I hope Peter set that up properly, at least. Okay, so that's beyond Bitcoin moment. Let us move on. Somebody, when I was talking about algorithms yesterday, the algorithm worship, someone came up with a great saying: algorithm simp. Don't be an algorithm simp on YouTube. Use your head, use your brain. Watch yesterday's show if you want more about that. Institutional investment is good for preventing an all-out ban. This is a very good point that I think Matt Odell made, but someone else tweeted it out. And I've alluded to it before. All of this institutional investment, it makes it very unlikely the United States will ever try to all-out ban Bitcoin. I think we've passed the point of no return on that, okay? And I've said that before, but that tweet is a beautiful reminder. Another interesting thing going on, there's a Twitter feed called TokenOops. And the dude tweets out token-related mistakes people have made, like sending their tokens to smart contracts and you can never get them back because you're not supposed to send it to this specific address. There's complexity with this DeFi stuff, okay? But there are a lot of people that don't know what the heck they're doing, so they end up making tremendous mistakes where they get their tokens locked away forever. Well, apparently Coinbase has a pretty bad interface, and they've known about it for some time, that involves US dollar coin, where people can make a mistake where they send their US dollar coin to send to a place where it gets locked up forever. So even if you're dealing with Coinbase and you think it's totally safe because it's Coinbase, they have a problem. And here's a tweet. Coinbase consumer interface operating on their own token, US dollar coin, does not implement basic protections for common mistakes that have lost millions, is easy to identify, is never a false positive. Please fix this immediately to prevent future loss of funds. So I've never tried out anything like this. But I'm just saying there's a lot of people that trust Coinbase and to the end, okay, and trust US dollar coin. I don't know why what they're dealing with over there when they're using it, but you can make a tremendous mistake over there, and they haven't made it any easier. So be careful with third parties. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Why even venture into USDC just so you can get into DeFi? And that's what Tone Vays has a hilarious tweet clip about, okay? It's from his show. It's like a 2-minute clip. He's like, why do people lend out their precious Bitcoin to these supposedly decentralized entities so people can fund altcoin projects or whatever it goes to funding? He says, you're better off just lending your money to your cousin at the Thanksgiving table. I say this, it's pretty hilarious, the video. People want interest on their Bitcoin, so they go to great lengths when all you have to do is hold your Bitcoin and get your crypto dividends that come through airdrops and through forks. You just have to be patient. We haven't had one for a while. There will be ones in the future. You don't have to mess around with smart contracts where you can make a tremendous mistake and send your token, which used to be Bitcoin, into some smart contract where it gets locked up forever and then you never get your wealth back, okay? You don't have to worry about that. Now, I want to say Unchained Capital is hiring. That is linked to below what they're hiring for. I think it's a tech-related position. I forgot now. I got this the other day and I haven't looked since, but it's linked to below for those of you who are in motion. And now I'm going to tell you about this scam, and we're going to conclude with this African scam that I had never heard of before. But apparently, over the last few months, it has been the biggest related cryptocurrency scam in Africa. So I assume I haven't heard about it because I'm in North America, and maybe people in North America aren't falling for it. There are videos on YouTube about this nasty thing. What is it? I see so many people are chatting. Remember, you do the super chat or type in BitcoinMeister, and I will answer your questions. But even though the show is going to end in about 5 minutes, but you can extend it or less than 5 minutes. Play this at 2x, people. It's called, what is this thing called? Mirror Trading International, or MTI. And this is my lost and found story of the day because nobody else is talking about it right now. Now, I think people have talked about it in the past, but I just found out about it. Mirror Trading International, or MTI, was established in 2019. MTI claims that its proprietary AI allows them to grow your Bitcoin. Oh my God. By using it as a base against other currencies on trades. All right, so that goes back to people are always, they want to do something with their Bitcoin. There's just this mentality in people. They can't just let it sit there. They don't understand what buy and hold is. They're too impatient. They're too impulsive. So this is the worst of the worst. With the ICOs, not the ICOs, the DeFi stuff, you can believe, okay, it's truly decentralized. I'm truly going to get it back. But with this is centralized. And it's all sorts of buzzwords. Proprietary artificial intelligence allows you to grow your Bitcoin. Complete nonsense, complete scammy stuff, but people they make videos that promote it. There's affiliate links, so it's a whole pyramid scheme type of thing also built in. And you see this every year from OneCoin. I don't know, there's Gladia coin, there was all sorts of things. And people are just like, you don't know, Adam, trust me, I can get out of it before it comes crashing down. So yeah, this was the biggest one in Africa this summer, maybe still. And it's so, if you hear something called MTI, and you can read about it, I link to what's described. We get one of these. So yeah, we always have an altcoin flavor of the month. We always have a scam of the year too. And this looks like this one was the Bitcoin scam of the year. So Just wanted to put that out there if anybody else has heard of it. Okay, dudes, that is it. We don't have any more questions. I'm Adam Meister, the BitcoinMeister, Disrupt Meister. Pound that like button. I will see you guys soon. Thanks a lot. Strong hand. Be a unique beast, dudes. I'm out of here. And what? Go to disruptmeister.com and watch the freaking archive show. The last 2-3 shows were great. See ya.